So, around the house, there's always things to fix, things that break. For instance, the lid of our toilet seat, it's gone. It came right off the toilet. So, there are always going to be things you need to fix.
I don't have a solution for that today.
Okay.
I have to go back to the drawing board.
We'll talk about that one later. But you've got easy, sort of quick fixes that you can do around the house.
These are little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and that I've also found online. You know that I love digging up some new creative ways to make my life easier and everybody at home's life a little bit easier. So the first one I came across online, and I thought, brilliant, just brilliant. So how many times have you been drilling, maybe on the weekend was doing curtain rods in the drywall, and you end up with all of the drywall dust from all of the screws all over the ground, right?
Messy.
Not a big deal, you pull out the vacuum, but you know what? We can avoid the hassle of the vacuum cleaner. I want you to first get yourself a stack of Post-it notes.
Yeah.
Fold your Post-it note to make like a little envelope, and you're gonna stick this right underneath where you're going to be drilling the hole, right? Do you get where we're going? And this is going to catch all of the dust, and then you just fold this up and throw it away.
That's so easy.
So simple, right? So simple. That's smart. So simple. Now, the other thing on the weekend when I was up the ladder hanging a curtain rod, I did the big no-no.
What'd you do?
I did one of these. Going up the ladder, the screw in the mouth.
Right.
I don't know how many, like on record, how many accidents happen a year, but I would imagine a lot. When you're going up a ladder, if you slip, like that would be a big no-no. So I was thinking, you know what? I could stick them in my pocket. I was wearing track pants, let's be honest. It was the weekend, so I had no pocket. So I went and got my hot glue gun, and I got a magnet.
Okay.
And I stuck it on the bottom of my hammer. So now I can go up the ladder with everything right there without sticking it in my mouth. So once I got to the top, I could screw or hammer whatever I needed to put in there. So magnets are a great little trick to add on for safety.
Good thinking,
but then
honey. We don't want you falling off the ladder with
no,
the screw
not
in
at
your
all.
mouth.
But then I was also thinking, something else that kind of drives me a little crazy is what to do with the wet paintbrush when you're painting. You put it down and it can make a bit of a mess. So I got one of these alligator clips, really simple. Actually, I got a pack of 2 from the dollar store. And again, some magnets from the dollar store. And if you see right here, I've hot glued them on. There, it's attached to the paint can, and voila! Right? So now you can work hands-free, and it's not sitting in the paint can, because honestly, one of the biggest things, you know I love to paint. One of the biggest problems with painting is if you seep the paint too far up into the paintbrush and it starts to dry at the top bristle, you're gonna really lose the brush. So you wanna just try to keep the end wet when you're working, but this is perfect, just to keep the end wet, but keep it out of getting messy and sloppy.
And look at that, costs almost nothing.
Almost nothing, honestly. Magnets dollar store, Clips dollar store, simple. Now, I don't know about you, but every once in a while, I smash my thumb with the hammer. It happens,
I don't use a hammer, so that never happens to me.
Well, if you do, and maybe you're a little timid, a bit of a timid or novice DIYer, this is a good way to get acquainted with your tools, with keeping safety in mind. Clothes peg. Right, when you're about to like nail the nail in the wood or whatever you're working with, it keeps your hand nice and firmly away from the surface. But even better than that, my trusty hammer, if you want to go out and upgrade what you already have, this has a pre-nail set in it. So this is a DeWalt hammer.
Yeah, I love that.
We've shown this before, but it's just brilliant with the magnetic top, so that when you swing, it'll automatically set the nail for you. Makes it super, super simple.
Great idea.
Now, this year, I hang a lot of artwork. We've done lots of shows about hanging cluster art and collage art on the wall, but it can be a little bit tricky, and let's face it, I'm not good at math. I'm the first to admit. Math has never been my strong suit. Carry the 1 divided by 2, measuring distance for hanging when there's 2 hooks. A really easy solution is get yourself out some painter's tape.
Okay.
Just run the tape from hook to hook. You take this off, and then this goes right on the wall, and then you pull out your level. And then basically you just drive in your nails on either end, but you don't do this, right? You don't get your tape all mixed up. You'd stick this right on the wall, and then you just drive in your nails from end to end to hang your artwork.
Easy.
Super, super easy, and it'll save you a lot of hassle.
It's not going to stick to the wall because it's painter's tape.
And please use painter's tape, not masking tape.
No.
Now, honestly, you don't want the drywall coming off with you. I don't have a Post-it note big enough for that.
Right, because that's measuring tape that
you know
just
what?
sticks.
We've again shown this before. I get so many still to to this day tweets and emails about what was that product. This is Measure It, and it's got a Post-it note sticky backing on it.
Yep.
But it's got your measuring tape right on the top when you can rip it to size. So this also works perfectly if you're hanging consecutive pieces, gallery walls. This would work amazing.
Yeah,
so Measure It's a
smart.
really smart, great product.
Measure It. Where do you get it?
Measure It. They have a website online,
Okay,
and it's
Measure
available
It.
at various home improvement stores as well. Measure It.
All right.
Now, I went to Lee Valley Tools on the weekend, and they have a great selection of some really cool stuff. And they had these, which I thought were brilliant. I kind of love the old school packaging. They're for drawers and cupboard doors to give you the exact template of where you need to drill for your knobs or your handles. Because sometimes that can be guesswork, and I have seen kitchens where they're not all lined up. So these are really handy, but if you're in a pinch, on the weekend I just took the top of a box. So you've got two corners. This would essentially slide over the corner of your cupboard, and if you just create a template hole for you, then you'll be drilling in the same spot every time for a knob. Works
Use that
really
for
nicely.
every cupboard.
Use this for every cupboard right on the corner.
Yeah,
Works
that's
really
a good
nicely.
idea.
Now,
There's so many easy things you can do around the house.
so many easy,
easier, right?
Now, have you ever had the situation? Well, I know you've never hammered anything.
Yeah.
Not much.
Every
But
once in a while.
if you're screwing something, have you ever stripped the screw head? You know, you get it in the wall and you can't get it out, and you're thinking, you get out the pliers, you get out like the drill, everything to try to get that out.
Okay.
Here's a little trick. Take a nice wide elastic band. You're gonna put it over top of the screw head that's stripped, and then put your screwdriver in there. This will sink and fill the hole, so then you can get that screw out very easily, right?
That is a good idea.
A really easy solution. Instead, I've tried to Dremel them off and then fill them full of putty, and it's a nightmare. So just use an elastic band. But there's always the latest and greatest out. This is the new AutoSense drill. And what's really great about this is it's got a sensor top, so whether you're drilling all the way through a surface or putting in a screw, taking it in or out, this will avoid the situation of ever over screwing a surface or stripping the nail, because it'll sense the surface pressure and sink it perfectly flush to your surface.
Smart
it works
tool.
like butter. It is smart and really affordable, and that's by Black & Decker. It's a great little guy.
Excellent. Okay.